you want to count sheep? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Every woman that comes through our door is a complete individual with their own stories. Sometimes they come broken. Sometimes they come completely homeless off the streets. Sometimes they've been even thrown out of their own parents' homes, and they have absolutely nowhere to go. Nobody wants them. Nobody will take them in. And that's when they call Hannah's House.
My family life was pretty rough growing up. My dad was abusive, and I had witnessed him abusing my mom on a couple of occasions, and she had divorced him when I was about 7, and she fell into a deep depression and became an alcoholic. So she was often gone, days at a time, without us knowing where she was. My brother and I were basically there to fend for ourselves, and we didn't have a lot of food or clothes. It was a very unsafe, unhealthy environment.
I think she was kind of lost, feeling all alone, overwhelmed, didn't have much purpose in her life or where to go, and she truly needed somebody who cared about her. She needed a sense of family, somebody who would wrap their arms around her and help her kind of figure it out. And sometimes that just is a beginning of having a safe place to stay where they can kind of get their mind together, that they don't have to worry about where they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep, and they know that somebody really cares about them.
The first time I walked into Hannah's house, it was about 3 days before Christmas, and I was kind of scared. I wasn't sure where I was going to be, where I was going to be going, and at the time I was 3 months pregnant. And immediately when I walked into Hannah's house, there was this sense of peace, and it was very calm. It was beautiful. It was decorated. They had a Christmas tree in the corner, and they had stockings by the chimney. I mean, it just looked very homey, very inviting. I felt okay there. I felt like everything was going to be all right.
When Ashley first came here, she was scared, and she didn't trust anybody. But there was something in her that wanted to succeed, and you can tell that was in her. Because when you talked to her, she listened. When there were opportunities, she took them. And day by day, she learned to trust. We loved her, we cared for her, and I think it finally sunk in that somebody does care for you and love you unconditionally. Doesn't matter where you've been, doesn't matter what you've done. You're here and we want to help. So she took that in and she opened up her heart.
And I think she was in a position of being like a sponge, that she wanted so badly to have a good family. She wanted so badly to be a good mother. She wanted to have God in her life. She wanted many good things. She wanted to get in the right direction.
I had to figure out who I was. I didn't know because I was constantly beat down and told that I was nothing. And I didn't want that for my daughter. And I knew once I was here, I realized that I could break that cycle. They gave me the support, and they had the classes to educate you on how to be a good mom and how you can break that cycle. That it can stop with me.
I can see miracles happening here. I can see a girl arrive in this house, sometimes full of anger, or maybe upset because I'm pregnant and I need to deal with that, or maybe upset because life is not fair, and they come with all of that attitude. And it's amazing because like a child, that just need a little bit of love and a little bit of attention, and suddenly you can see month after month that transformation. They can understand that someone cares about them. And that's what everybody needs in life, It's love and hope.
Monica, is a very special volunteer. We have many volunteers that are wonderful, but Monica comes in here with God's love and love for every young woman that's here. And on that particular day, at that particular moment, I think Ashley was really searching and needing some direction in her life, and was open to having God come into her life and probably had been searching for quite some time.
I met Ashley here in the house, and we started to talk about God. And it was pretty amazing because you can sense which of the girls are really seeking for that. And Ashley was one. I could tell that she was kind of drinking any kind of word that I could give of hope.
She asked me one day to pray for her. And I said, well, why do you want me to pray for you? And at that time, my faith wasn't very strong. I was just learning about God. But I said, okay. I said, what do you want me to pray for you about? And she said, well, I'm going to be talking at this retreat.
And I remember that I came to Ashley and I said, could you please pray for me? The retreat is in 1 week. And I will be there. English is my second language. I will be in front of at least 60 people. And I'm kind of struggling with that. Could you pray for that? Could you pray just for the Holy Spirit to speak through me? Maybe without accent, that would be great. And she looked at me and she said, can I come? And I said, wow, because I could see Jesus working through her.
It was such a beautiful retreat. All of these women were giving their life stories, and I could identify with them, and I could see that God used them, to bring each other closer to God. And I realized, this is where I belong.
And it's pretty amazing because I saw this girl growing her faith in such a way that one day she came to me, and that was a huge joy. She came to me and she said, I really thought that I was alone, but I'm not anymore. He always been there for me, and he's here, right here beside me, to help me to provide for this child, and I'm fine.
Well, my daughter, her name is Sierra, and she's almost 2, and she is literally the light of my life. Without her, without being pregnant with her, without her, I don't think I would have changed my life. I think that I wouldn't have grown at all.
I saw her going through a lot of painful and difficult time, fighting for a roof for her baby, fighting to survive. And I saw her in many moments that she just could give up the whole thing. I told her, hold tight, because your faith is just being tested. And if you pass in this test, you're fine. Just keep believing, because something good will come, And she did. And that's what I call transformation.
I think Ashley is absolutely determined to be the best mother that she can be to her child. And part of that is pursuing her education and also holding down a job so she has the financial means to support her. And I truly believe that Ashley's going to make it.
Now I see that I have a future. And before Hannah's house, I didn't see one. I didn't care whether I lived or died. I put myself in very risky situations, but God shielded me from all of that and put me in Hannah's house. And because of Hannah's house and Monica, I believe that I am where I am today because of them. I believe that I'm a better mom than I would have been without this place.